6 to 8 inches. That's what Pennsylvania got in the last 12 hours. The models said 2, and right now, another system is organizing that could make this look like nothing. Temperature swings are about to become violent. 30 degrees one day, 50 degrees the next, then back to 0. This isn't normal December weather. This is chaos, and chaos creates storms. Big storms. In 35 seconds, I'm going to show you the single most important number in this entire forecast. A number that explains why meteorologists are using words like extreme and historic. But first, you need to understand what just happened. The trend this winter has been intensification. Last-minute intensification. 24 hours before a storm arrives, snow amounts jump. We saw it last week, we're seeing it again now. Models keep trending stronger right before systems hit. This is the new pattern, and it's concerning. Tonight, southeastern Virginia hits the upper teens. That's unusual. Inland areas see single digits. Further north, well below 0 in many locations. This is the coldest air of the season so far. But it's not staying, and that's the problem. Here's the number I promised at 35 seconds. 981. 981 millibars. That's the pressure reading models are showing for Thursday's system between Minnesota and Canada. At the 2-minute 40 mark, I'll explain why this matters so much. But that number alone should tell you something massive is developing. A 981 millibar low in the north-central states rivals the intensity of major coastal nor'easters. These are the kind of pressure readings you see when hurricanes make landfall. Except this is December. In Minnesota, with Arctic air involved instead of tropical moisture, tomorrow afternoon stays very cold. The Northwest gets a storm system. Mountains see snow. Lower elevations get rain. The Great Lakes and Northeast deal with continuous lake-effect snow. Nothing unusual yet. Standard winter weather. But Tuesday changes things. A clipper system moves through, the jet stream starts to relax, storm tracks shift, what was moving underneath starts moving northward. This is the transition phase. When patterns flip, this is what it looks like. Wednesday shows the western storm system intensifying. Major snow for the mountains. Very intense system developing. This is the setup day. Everything that happens Thursday starts here on Wednesday. As promised at 2:40, here's why 981 millibars matters. Atmospheric pressure measures how much air is pressing down on a location. Lower pressure means less air, which means air rushes in from surrounding areas to fill the void. That rush creates wind. The lower the pressure, the faster the wind. When you get down to 981 millibars, you're talking about extreme pressure gradients. The difference between the low pressure and surrounding high pressure becomes massive. That creates winds of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour at the surface. At 30,000 feet, the jet stream could hit 150 miles per hour. That kind of energy doesn't just create wind, it creates snow, heavy snow, it creates severe weather, it creates rapid temperature changes, it creates everything you associate with major winter storms, all at once. At the 5-minute 15 mark, I'll show you who gets what. But here's the Thursday timeline everyone needs to know. Thursday morning starts relatively quiet. Cold air in place across the northern tier. Then the system explodes. By afternoon, heavy snow bands set up from the northern plains through the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes. 4 to 8 inches in the main band, 12 inches in the heaviest spots. This happens fast, within 12 to 18 hours. But snow is only half the story. The southern flank of this system taps into Gulf moisture. Warm air surges north. Temperatures in the deep south could hit the 50s or even 60s Thursday afternoon. Then the cold front crashes through. Temperatures drop 20 to 30 degrees in just a few hours. Where warm meets cold, with that much energy, you get severe weather. Thunderstorms, damaging winds, heavy rain. Even isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out in December when the setup is this volatile. The Deep South and Lower Midwest need to pay attention Thursday evening. By Friday morning, Arctic air floods back in. Everything that warmed up on Thursday freezes again. Wind chills below 0 return to the Midwest and Great Lakes. The East feels the bite. Any snow that melted refreezes into ice. Roads become skating rinks. This is dangerous. Now here's where most forecasts stop. They tell you about Thursday's system and call it done. But that's not the story. The story is what comes after. And at the 8-minute mark, I'm going to reveal the pattern that could make late December historic. As promised at 5:15, here's the breakdown by region. Northern Plains Thursday into Friday, heavy snow. 6 to 10 inches widespread. Blizzard conditions possible with the strong winds. Travel shuts down. This is a major event for this region. Upper Midwest and Great Lakes Thursday night into Friday. Snow bands set up. 4 to 8 inches common, 12 inches in the persistent bands. Lake effect adds more over the weekend. 6 to 12 additional inches in the snow belts. By Monday, some areas could have 20 inches total from multiple events. Northeast through Wednesday, minor systems only. An inch here, 2 inches there from clippers. Nothing significant. The pattern keeps major storms to the north. If you're hoping for big snow in Boston or New York this week, it's not happening. Not yet. Deep south Thursday evening. Severe weather threat. Damaging winds, primary concern. Storms could be intense, brief but dangerous, have multiple ways to get warnings. Mountain West all week. Epic snow continues, 10 to 15 feet by week's end. Some areas could see 20 feet by early January. This is generational snowfall for ski resorts. Roads close. Avalanche, danger extreme. Here's what I promised at 8 minutes. And this changes everything. After Thursday's system passes, we don't settle down. We oscillate. Arctic air rushes in Friday and Saturday. Brief warm-up Sunday and Monday. Another Arctic shot Tuesday and Wednesday. Brief warm-up Thursday and Friday for Christmas week. Then Arctic air tries to return after Christmas. Temperature swings of 30 to 50 degrees within a week. Some locations could see 60-degree differences between the coldest morning and warmest afternoon in this period. Chicago could go from 5 below to 45 above in 4 days. That's a 50-degree swing. But here's what matters most. These temperature swings create energy. Every time cold meets warm, storms can form, and the models are showing exactly that. Multiple storm systems, not just Thursday. Multiple opportunities through early January. At the 11-minute 30 mark, I'll break down the Christmas forecast. But first, the post-Christmas signal that has meteorologists watching closely. Around December 29th, models show a significant setup. Arctic air returning after a mild Christmas, a coastal low-pressure system developing. The ingredients for a major mid-Atlantic and northeast snowstorm. This is 8 to 9 days out. Specifics will change, but the pattern supports it. What makes this interesting is consistency. The European model shows it, the GFS model shows it, different models, different solutions on details, but both picking up a potential significant event, that's not coincidence. That's pattern recognition. The long-range teleconnection support it too. The Madden-Julian oscillation, MJO, is in a phase that favors this volatile pattern. The Arctic oscillation shows signs of going negative after Christmas, which releases Arctic air southward. The North Atlantic Oscillation, NAO, also trending negative, which creates blocking patterns that trap cold air over the east. When you combine negative Arctic Oscillation with negative NAO and the MJO in this phase, the odds of significant eastern winter weather increase dramatically. Not a guarantee, but the probability shifts higher. As promised at 11:30, here's the Christmas week forecast. Tuesday, December 23rd through Thursday, December 25th shows milder air. Above average temperatures for most of the east. 40s and 50s return. Rain instead of snow if any systems move through. This is your travel window. If you're driving for Christmas, these 3 days look best. But it's brief. Very brief. By Friday the 26th, temperatures start dropping again. Not extreme yet, just a return to normal. Then, Saturday and Sunday, the 27th and 28th, cold air builds in Canada. The stage is set. Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th could be significant. If that coastal low develops as models suggest, major cities could see 6 to 12 inches of snow, maybe more. But again, we're looking at day 8 and 9 of the forecast. This will change. Just be aware it's showing up consistently enough to mention. At the 14-minute mark, I'll give you the snowfall forecast. But here's what you need to understand about model trends right now. 12 hours ago, Thursday's low was forecast at 990 millibars. Now it's 981. That's a significant jump in intensity. The trend is toward a stronger system. This happens when all the atmospheric ingredients align better than models initially calculated. The same thing happened with the system that just hit. Pennsylvania was forecast for 2 to 3 inches. They got 6 to 8. Last-minute intensification. We're seeing this pattern repeat. When models trend, they trend stronger this winter. Keep that in mind. The European model has been consistent on the overall pattern for days. Up and down temperatures, active storm track, multiple systems. What changes run to run is the intensity of individual systems. They keep getting stronger at the last minute. The GFS model is more aggressive overall, but agrees on the pattern. Both models show the post-Christmas period as potentially significant. Both show continued massive snow for western mountains. Both show this temperature roller coaster continuing into early January. When models agree on the big picture, trust it. The details will shift, exact tracks will adjust, snowfall totals will fluctuate, but the pattern is real. Active weather, temperature swings, multiple storm threats. Here's the snowfall forecast I promised at 14 minutes. Next, 7 days total. Northern Plains and Upper Midwest, 10 to 18 inches. The Thursday system delivers 6 to 10. Lake effect adds another 4 to 8 over the weekend. Travel difficult to impossible Thursday evening through Saturday morning. Great Lakes snowbelts, 12 to 24 inches. Persistent lake effect, band after band. Some locations could see 30 inches by next Monday if bands train over the same areas repeatedly. Interior, northeast, 4 to 8 inches, mainly from lake effect. No major systems for the coast this week. Mountains do better than valleys. Appalachians 6 to 12 inches. Elevation dependent. Above 3,000 feet sees the higher amounts, below 2,000 feet sees less. Mountain West, 15 to 25 feet, not inches, feet. This is extraordinary. Some peaks could approach 30 feet by New Year's if every system delivers. Avalanche conditions extremely dangerous. Mid-Atlantic and Northeast coast, 1 to 3 inches total through next weekend. Minor clipper systems only. The big snow potential comes after Christmas if that system materializes. At the 17-minute 20 mark, I'll explain why this pattern creates monster storms. But first, severe weather specifics for Thursday. The severe weather threat Thursday evening focuses on a line from eastern Texas through Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and into Tennessee and Kentucky. Damaging straight-line winds are the primary concern. 50 to 70 mile-per-hour gusts possible in the strongest storms. Heavy rain could produce flash flooding in some areas. 2 to 4 inches in a short time overwhelms drainage systems. Urban areas especially vulnerable. Isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out. December tornadoes happen when you have this much instability. They're not common, but they're possible. Enhanced risk level. Not high risk, but not slight risk either. Enhanced means take it seriously. The timing looks like late afternoon into evening for Texas and Louisiana. Evening into overnight for Arkansas and Mississippi. Overnight into early Friday for Tennessee and Kentucky. The line moves fast. Once it starts, it moves. Behind the line, temperatures crash. 50s and 60s Thursday afternoon become 30s and 20s by Friday morning. Wind chills in the teens. Everything wet freezes. This is the whiplash pattern in action. As promised at 1720, here's why this pattern creates monsters. It's all about temperature gradients. When you have a 50-degree difference between air masses, the atmosphere tries to balance itself. Fast. That creates jet stream winds exceeding 150 miles per hour at altitude. Those upper-level winds transfer energy downward. Surface low-pressure systems intensify rapidly. We call this bombogenesis when it happens over 24 hours. Thursday's system might qualify as a bomb cyclone by technical definition. 24 millibar drop in 24 hours. When you add moisture to intense low pressure, you get heavy precipitation. Snow on the cold side, rain on the warm side. Severe weather where they meet. When you add strong winds to heavy precipitation, you get blizzard conditions. Visibility near zero. Drifting snow. Dangerous travel. This is why the back-and-forth temperature pattern matters. Every swing creates another opportunity for intense development. Stagnant patterns are boring. Volatile patterns create memorable weather. And we're in a volatile pattern. At the 20-minute mark, I'll give you the preparation checklist. But here's what happens after Thursday's system exits. Friday and Saturday. Arctic air reinforces. Below zero wind chills return to the northern tier. Single digits spread south, but it doesn't last. Sunday and Monday, brief warm-up. Temperatures moderate, 30s and 40s return, maybe low 50s in spots. Just enough to melt snow and create slush. Then it refreezes. Tuesday and Wednesday, another Arctic shot. Quick, but noticeable. Temperatures drop back to 20s and 30s. This is the pattern. Up and down. Relentless. Christmas Eve through Christmas Day, milder. 40s and 50s. Some areas could hit 60. White Christmas, unlikely for most, but don't get used to it. Day after Christmas through the weekend. The setup. Cold air builds, storm systems organize. By Monday the 29th, we could be tracking something significant. Here's the preparation checklist I promised at 20 minutes. Next 10 days. For tonight through Tuesday, extreme cold protection, pipes, pets, people, check heating systems, have backup plans if power fails. Lake effect zones stock up for potential extended snow. For Thursday, northern plains and upper Midwest prepare for major snow. Supplies for 2 to 3 days. Snow removal equipment ready. Travel plans should be flexible or canceled. Deep South and Lower Midwest monitor severe weather alerts Thursday afternoon and evening. Multiple ways to receive warnings. Phones charged. Know your safe spot. For the temperature swings, dress in layers. Road conditions change hourly during these transitions. Morning ice. Afternoon slush. Evening refreeze. Black ice is constant threat. Allow extra travel time all week. For Christmas travel, Wednesday the 24th through Friday the 26th looks like your best window. Before that, too cold and stormy. After that, potentially stormy again. If you can travel mid-week, Christmas week, that's optimal. For post-Christmas, if you have plans for December 28th through 30th, stay very flexible. Monitor forecasts starting December 25th. The potential for significant disruption exists. Maybe it doesn't materialize, but the risk is real enough to have backup plans. At the 23-minute mark, I'll tell you when to check back for updates. But here's what the extended outlook shows beyond New Year's. January is shaping up active, very active. The teleconnections don't support quiet weather. They support continued volatility, more temperature swings, more storm systems, more winter weather potential. Historically, January is the snowiest month for much of the East. If this pattern continues with Arctic air readily available and an active storm track, multiple significant snow events are possible. Not one big storm, multiple opportunities. The pattern we're entering could persist for weeks, back and forth temperatures, storm after storm. This isn't a brief active period. This could define the winter. After a slow start, winter is making up for lost time, and making up for it aggressively. Some long-range models show this volatility lasting into early February. Others suggest a pattern shift mid-January. Too far out to know specifics. But the signal for continued active weather is strong through at least early January. As promised at 23 minutes, here's your update schedule. Tomorrow morning, latest model runs on Thursday's system. Snowfall forecasts refined. Severe weather parameters updated. Wind speed forecasts adjusted. This is when details come into focus for Thursday. Wednesday morning, critical update. 12 to 18 hours before Thursday's system impacts begin. Final snowfall maps. Final severe weather outlooks. Travel advisories. This is your last chance to adjust plans or stock up. Friday morning. Post-storm analysis. How did Thursday verify? Weekend lake effect forecast. Next system timing, if any. Temperature trend updates. Monday, December 23rd. Christmas week travel forecast. 3-day outlook for the holiday. Road conditions. Airport delays, if any. Your go or no-go decision point for holiday travel. Thursday, December 26th. Post-Christmas pattern update. Is the December 29th system still showing up? How strong? What track? Initial snowfall ideas. This is when that potential event comes into clearer focus or falls apart. This is the most active pattern we've seen all winter. Multiple threats across multiple time frames. It requires daily attention. Conditions will change. Forecasts will evolve. What looks certain today might shift tomorrow. But the big picture is solid. Winter arrived. Winter is active. Winter has momentum. The ingredients are aligning for a memorable finish to December and potentially a very active January. The back-and-forth temperature pattern creates energy. Energy creates storms. Storms create impacts. Impacts require preparation. That's the cycle. And we're in it now. One final thought before we wrap. This isn't about creating fear. This is about providing information. Information allows preparation. Preparation reduces risk. Risk reduction keeps people safe. Yes, Thursday's system is intense. Yes, temperature swings are dramatic. Yes, post-Christmas has potential. But all of this is forecastable. We see it coming. We have time to prepare. We have tools to adapt. Stay informed. Check forecasts daily. Have backup plans. Be flexible. Winter weather is challenging, but it's manageable when you stay ahead of it. Tomorrow's update launches early. We'll have overnight model runs processed. Thursday's system will be in sharper focus. Until then, prepare for tonight's cold, prepare for this week's volatility, and prepare for a winter that finally decided to show up with authority. The pattern is set. The stage is built. Now we watch it unfold. And we'll be here every day, breaking it down, keeping you informed, keeping you prepared. That's the commitment. That's the goal. That's what you can count on as this active pattern continues.